Hello, it's Thomas Donald Jacobs for Paperboys on Thursday, and it is actually Thursday, so I had my surgery, and obviously they have sent me home. I came home yesterday. The surgery went good. It was about an hour and a half in total, and I woke up from the anesthesia with no problems. The surgical assistant came and gave me the rundown on everything that they had done and what I needed to do. Um, the instructions are pretty simple: lay around with no pants on so that everything stays as dry as possible, and keep my legs spread in a most unbecoming fashion, like a giant pervert Winnie the Pooh, and just take it easy. That's the most important thing. Keeping it dry and clean so that the incisions have a chance to consolidate and infection does not take hold. That's a particular concern for me because I am allergic to penicillin, so I can't have several different types of antibiotics, unfortunately. They gave me a different kind of broad spectrum through the IV while I was in the hospital that should keep me good for a while. There's a nurse that will come once a day to disinfect everything for the next 3 weeks. He came for the first time this morning. That was a little awkward. I don't really want people, especially strangers, looking at my stuff, but it's one of those things that you don't really get used to it, but I think you just kind of come to accept it that if you are going to do medical transitioning, um, especially bottom surgery, it's just going to be a thing that's going to have to happen. I haven't seen the full results yet because the initial bandages are still in place. Um, I go in tomorrow and they'll take those off and do my post-op check. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. What I've seen so far looks really good. I'm really happy with it. Um, I do know, however, that some of the size is probably the result of swelling. So likely is not going to be that big when everything is done and settled, but still really happy. The weird thing is it doesn't really feel attached to me yet. I think that's the result of two things. First, looking down and seeing something where previously I couldn't really see anything. And second, it is numb. And that's from the swelling, things getting shifted around in surgery, uh, and probably the painkillers, which I have two types that I have to take, um, mostly just to try and keep the swelling under control and to try and lessen it as quickly as possible. So I've got like these giant horse-sized paracetamol to choke down 3 times a day, and then giant horse-sized ibuprofen to choke down twice a day. Not my favorite thing. I don't swallow pills that well. But the sooner the swelling goes down, the better. Because one of the things they had to do, which I actually had not expected. I know that they put a catheter in during surgery. They did that in my last two surgeries, but they take them out before you wake up. This time I woke up with the catheter, and it is because of the swelling. And if the catheter wasn't in, it would be harder to keep the area dry. So it's not the kind of catheter that they insert during other types of bottom surgery, which is surgically inserted above everything. This is actually just a regular balloon catheter, goes up the urethra. Um, it's really irritating. I don't think anybody likes catheters. My hats off really to the guys and transmask peeps that put up with this for weeks on end, because I would not be able to hack that, I think. I did have an accident. I forgot to close the valve and promptly peed all over myself, but it's not such a big deal at the end of the day because it's just pee and I'm at home. It's easy enough to clean up. And then at night, I have to hook it up to this bag so that I don't have to keep getting up to open the valve and empty everything out. And other than that, I'm just supposed to drink a ton of water. And if I have to walk around, and I should walk around, which I've been doing as much as possible, move slowly. But that's not a problem because you don't want to move quickly, believe me. It doesn't hurt, but it's uncomfortable. Like, I can tell that the area is tender, and it's odd, like, because I can feel things jiggling where previously there was no jiggling. That's like yeah, just one of those things that I guess I'm gonna have to get used to. And I'm looking forward to it. So far, all in all, pretty pleased. And I do have one post-surgical tip for people. If you have a problem with constipation after surgery, and a lot of people do because of the anesthesia and then the painkillers, what I started doing after my top surgery was making a giant batch of chili in advance and freezing it. And then when I get home, I have a big giant bowl full of super spicy chili, and I wash it all down with a ton of coffee. And a couple of hours later, constipation, not an issue. That might not work for everyone, but it definitely works for me. So that's cleared up, and I feel better already. I will continue to keep you guys updated on my bottom surgery adventure. And take care and wash your hands. And I'll see you soon. Bye.